What's going on, YouTube? I wanted to share something that I've been working on for my church. We are planning on doing that song, Here is in Heaven by Elevation Worship, um, probably in a couple weeks. Um, it's funny because it just came out, but I mainly just started by myself. I mean, they didn't even ask me to. I started working on um, creating the intro, recreating the intro. It's different. It's only I would say it's about 65 to 70% accurate. Uh, I am using pads here instead of strings because I don't have actual string sounds. The closest thing I have is with using Massive. Pads are made with Ableton Live's built-in synthesizer operator. Just four different things, not using FM. There's just going directly out. Um, and of course, they're 100%. Let me close that. They're 100% reverb right here. Uh, got that with a long decay. A few effects on there. Some compressors specifically for this here, so that some of these sounds can cut through. So I've got that instead of strings because if I'm going to use this in a live set, the strings that they have on the keys in my church will work just fine. And it'll help the build a lot more than what I can do on here currently. Unless they decide to spend $100 so I can get Ableton's string synth. Um, tried to tried to really get every detail in, including the fade ins and fade out. The pianos, like the exact chords. I watched the piano tutorial to get these chords exactly right. Had to go back and watch things a few times. But here, why don't you listen to it, and then I'll talk a little more about it after. All right, so right at the end, right here is where, I mean, this pretty much repeats, and then you have somebody come in singing. Um, so a few things that are also not exact, because like I try to explain to everybody that starts to get into electronic music or um, any kind of music production of this variety. You cannot recreate something that someone else did 100%. You never can. And the reason for that is because you have to know exactly what programs they're using, what audio samples they're using. So, I'm using, for example, for the noise, I'm using Massive. I'm using four different instances of Massive, different noise. I've got the water pipes, the brown noise, aluminum, and metal. And they're just all at different values, fading in. That's what I've got. And then I'm using serum effects to kind of make it just a little bit uh, wider, as well as using the delay on here to, um, sorry about that, to keep it going throughout here just a little bit to kind of help the transition. Um, I'm also using Massive for this bass here with Ableton's. Sorry about that. It's my wife sending me something on Facebook. Also using Ableton's built-in audio effects here with a little bit of serums, um, keeping this bass low passed, and it's just a bunch of saw, or well, two different saw waves detuned from each other. Triangle wave in there for a little bit more warmth. Don't know why that's on bend minus, but I'm not going to leave it because it sounds good. Several voices. Um, Unisono spread is on with just like barely detune added to that. No filters. I found that when I did the low pass filter here, I had a very annoying popping noise, and I didn't like that. So I took that off and just low passed it here at 475 hertz. Um, so that's what I've got there. That's going through out there. Um, and then I have that same bass down here. And I labeled this playable bass. So I'll use my MIDI controller once we get to this point in the song. Um, and instead of playing this here with just MIDI notes, I'll actually press the keys. Um, Again, I think it's pretty close. Uh, Never going to be 100% accurate, but I think a lot of times when churches try to redo songs, it sounds really close in their head, and we're no exception. Um, and then you know you you hear like a recording of what you did, and then you're like, oh, that's not close at all. Um, and in our case, we're we're trying to get close, but we're not trying to be exact. We just want it to sound good. Um, and it's always, in my opinion, better to have your own sound. And for songs like this, you kind of want to get the entire feel of the song, so you recreate the original stuff. But again, not 100%. I mean, I've got pads instead of strings. That's a very major difference right there alone. And I've got a MIDI piano instead of somebody actually playing a piano, which is what they were doing. We don't have the people, uh, the instruments to do that. I'm actually one of the guitar players, and I'm gonna start flipping between this and guitar. So we've got that. We've got main keyboard, which usually whoever's playing that is leading us. Um, and we've got another guitarist other than me, and then an acoustic guitarist, um, drummer, bass. We actually have a saxophone player, which is pretty cool because in the really soft moments, he plays really beautiful stuff, and it really adds to our worship, and it makes it, our sound rather than, you know, all this other stuff that everyone else is doing. So, yeah, and I did a lot of research. Like I've got the song pulled up right here. I was just working on it not too long ago. Um, did a lot of research. Listened to that intro over 1,000 times, and somehow I'm still not sick of it. Um, so I've got this lead sound here. Sounds very close, like probably the closest sound out of all of the ones I have here, but not exact. I'm using Serum for that. It's just two saw waves with 8 voices each, detuned 0.19, so not even really detuned a lot. Um, I've got this connected to this envelope here, so that each note hit that I have on there, this will slide up. Let me play it real quick. Wait, where are we at? Okay, so let me play it. You can kind of hear a little bit of this triangle wave here, but when everything's playing, you can't hear that. So it just adds a little bit of bass to the sound. So I don't know if you noticed, but this cutoff knob right here uh, is moving, so that'll fade in the sound just like in the song. So I hope you guys like it. Like, comment. I need some feedback. I need to know what people are thinking. Thanks for watching.